I am Ethan Kershaw, DFS soccer analyst. Today I will be going over a 2-game slate on DraftKings. This week for the Champions League soccer games. We have first of all PSG and Barcelona, and then RB Leipzig and Liverpool. First though, make sure to like the video and subscribe to Mayo Media Network. Also, head on over to Twitter and follow me at EthanKershaw9. I'll be posting various DFS soccer updates over there for you all. Also, this week, make sure to go ahead and post in the comments who your favorite value midfielder play is on the slate for this week's games. First of all, let's jump into the games and talk a little bit about the scenarios and what each team needs in these games. PSG versus Barcelona. We know that Barcelona lost this game 4-1, and PSG had a good win behind an awesome hat trick from Kylian Mbappe. So I do expect in this game Barcelona to be pushing forward quite a bit, a lot of attacking opportunities, and a lot of crosses. In turn, I think PSG will have to do quite a bit of defending, but I think that they are really a very good counter-attacking team, and that plays really well into Kylian Mbappe, who I'll mention a little bit later, getting opportunities on the counter. The other game, Leipzig and Liverpool. We know that 2 goals are needed for Leipzig to tie, and then 3 for them to advance. Liverpool won this game off of 2 mistakes from Leipzig, but the game overall was extremely defensive. Even though I expect Liverpool to really control this second leg, I do think that Leipzig can nick 1 or 2 goals and possibly even win this game. In the first leg, they got extremely close to scoring a couple of times as well. So now I'm going to kind of talk about some players that you can play on the DFS slates this week. I'm going to talk about some higher valued players, and then some cheaper players that have quite a bit of value as well. First of all, let's start at the top of the board. You can't talk about this without talking about Lionel Messi at 11K. I know he's extremely expensive, but last game he had 19.4 fantasy points, and that was the lowest amount of fantasy points he's had the entire tournament. Other than last game, he's had 4 or more shots in the last 4 Champions League appearances, and you know that he's going to be controlling the corners, the free kicks, and if there's a penalty, you know he'll be taking it as well. I expect Lionel Messi to be working up the field, a lot of opportunities, a lot of crosses, a lot of chances for him in this game. I love him, even though he's extremely high priced. In this game as well, on the other end, you also got to talk about Kylian Mbappe. 10.5K this week that he comes in, but he's had 3 goals. He had 3 goals last game, 50 fantasy points, a huge, massive game, and that game was also without Neymar. Now, Neymar won't be there this week again, so I think that PSG is really going to have to rely on Kylian Mbappe for their chances and their goals on the counter. So with Barcelona really needing goals in this game, Mbappe is the ideal player for this kind of game and how it's going to play out. He's had multiple fouls drawn in 4 of the last 5 Champions League games, and he's had multiple shots every single game in the Champions League this year. So you're going to get a lot of points out of him either way. Now, obviously, the 50 points game was a huge outlier, but I do think he's going to be able to get a lot of points. He'll also take the penalties if there are any for PSG. Let's go ahead and drop down to the next forward I have listed here, Christopher Nkunku at 9.6K for RB Leipzig. He's done very, very well this tournament, ranging in point total from 9 to 29 in the last 4 games, and then also having 7, 7, 2, and then 4 crosses in those 4 games. He's a guy who's going to be moving forward quite a bit. He either plays it forward or more of an attacking midfield position for RB Leipzig, and he's really developed into a very strong player for them. Lately been playing 90 minutes in almost every single game this Champions League. He has a total of 12 tackles won in those 4 games as well that I mentioned. And like I said, he's going to have quite a bit of opportunity. I think that he'll be playing up top with likely Yusuf Poulsen or Hwang Hee-chan, and have a lot of opportunity to get goals in this game or even some assists. Ousmane Dembele is my next forward I'd like to talk about at 8.2K. I consider this relatively cheap for Ousmane Dembele considering the Champions League he has had. So he's going to be playing up top next to Messi, most likely on the left side, and he should have lots of opportunity with Barcelona needing goals. Now get this, he has had multiple shots in all Champions League games this year and multiple crosses in 3 of the last 4 games. He has had a very good floor, 7-point floor with a 27-point ceiling, so he's got a very high variance. But last game, he had a couple opportunities where he almost scored a goal. And I think in this game, he breaks through and gets a goal. I love Ousmane Dembele at 8.2K. The next player we're going to talk about, we're going to jump over, transition to the midfielders. I really, really like Marco Verratti this week at 4.7K. Now, I've not really seen Marco Verratti push so far up the field than I did last week for PSG. There were several times where he could have had even a second assist on top of the first assist that he had in the game. He has had assists in the last two games as well, one or more shots, passes intercepted, and tackles won in the last three Champions League games. He's very consistent, really stuffs the stat sheet, and so I really like him this week as a good value play at midfielder. I'm also looking through a couple of bets on DK Sportsbook. I found that you can get plus 3,500 for him to score the first or the last goal. Because he's going to be pushing up top, he really has been playing in that central attacking midfield position, just behind Kylian Mbappe and sometimes Mauro Icardi. And so the fact that he's getting so far up the field as of late, I think he's got a fantastic chance to score in this game. And as we know, with the 2 assists in the last 2 games, a very, very good chance to get an assist in this game. If you want to bet an assist, it's plus 450. I think that's a fantastic bet as well. The next midfielder I would like to talk about is going to be Curtis Jones for Liverpool at 5.1K. Now, Curtis Jones has had a goal or an assist in his last 2 games. Been very, very consistent, very, very productive for Liverpool. 3 passes intercepted in the last game with 4 fouls drawn. And so the last game that they played against Leipzig, he was very active, pushing up and down the field, getting back to play quite a bit of defense as well. And this week, if Fabinho plays at defender, Fabinho normally plays midfielder. If he's playing back at defender, which looks very likely, they're going to need Curtis Jones to be very productive. And Jurgen Klopp does get the best out of his players. They haven't had a great year in the Premier League, but I think that Curtis Jones is a fantastic play because of what Klopp can get out of him. Let's drop now down to our defenders. We have Trent Alexander-Arnold, kind of the obvious play here at 7.1K. Now, same thing with Lionel Messi. I understand he's very highly priced, but he will be moving down the wing quite a bit. You love those defenders that like to get forward, have opportunities to cross, have opportunities to assist in the box, and that's exactly what Trent Alexander-Arnold does. So the side that he'll be attacking on is actually the same side where Angelino would have been. The left back for Leipzig, Angelino, will actually be out this game. And it's another reason why I love Trent Alexander-Arnold. 4 or more crosses in every Champions League game this year, and 2 assists in the last 4. I understand he's highly priced, but go ahead and pay up for him this week, as he will be involved with all the plays for Liverpool, and he'll be taking all the corners as well, like he always does. I think another option as well, if you're not wanting to pay all the way up for Trent Alexander-Arnold, is Jordi Alba at 6K. Jordi Alba has had also, just like Trent Alexander-Arnold, 2 assists in the last 4 Champions League games, and he's had 1 or more crosses in every game. Multiple shots attempted in 4 of the last 5 really make him a good value at left back going up the field. The last game that they had with PSG, I noticed that he was moving very far up the field, up top with Ousmane Dembele, getting very involved in the attack, and that's really what you want to see out of a defender like him. And so he's also had 3 tackles won and 2 passes intercepted in the last game. So he was extremely involved. 9 points for fantasy in the last game, but I do think that he has a good chance to get actually more than that this week. Let's go down to now a good value play that I have at defender, Ozan Kabak for Liverpool. Now, Ozan Kabak is really the only true center back that Liverpool has healthy remaining, and even then, he's still got a knock coming into the game this week. He is questionable, so do keep an eye on that. But when the lineups come out, if he is in, I think he's a very, very good player to fit into your team. The team just looks so much more different with him in game, and they defend so much better. He does have 3 passes intercepted, and he had the clean sheet last game against Leipzig. So other than that, not a ton of value. But like I said, at 3.1K, he's a very cheap play if you just need to fit someone into your lineup at defender. And then let's go ahead and talk about the last play here that I have, which is the goalkeeper. I'm going to stick with Keylor Navas. Now, I understand that there's a lot of times where you should probably pay down for a goalkeeper, but this week, I'm taking Keylor Navas. I understand he's the most expensive, but he's only 5K. It's not the most expensive we've seen from a keeper this year. And in the last 4 games, he's been able to produce 9 to 16 points, which is a fantastic floor for a goalkeeper, all things considering. In all those games, they've been able to win, and he's had 3 or more saves in every game this Champions League. So I think him facing a Barcelona team that's going to be having to shoot quite a bit, a lot of crosses into the box, a lot of activity up front. I do think that the PSG defenders are very good and in a very good position, as well as Navas. I really like him this week to have a very good game at 5K. So those are the options here that I will provide for you today. Getting into some other bets that I was able to find. RB Leipzig to win the first half I think is a pretty good bet. And then also Liverpool to win the second. So looks like RB Leipzig to win the first half is plus 2,200, and Liverpool to win the second is plus 2,400. I think either of those outcomes are very, very possible in this game, with Leipzig needing to push forward and get a goal. But it's possible that stamina and fatigue start to wane a little bit when Leipzig has to play in the second half. Liverpool might be able to get a goal or 2 in the second half as well. Also, another one I'm looking at is Leipzig to win to 0. Is plus 450. Not super high, but I think it's very, very possible. I mean, why not, right? Fulham was able to do it in the Premier League this weekend, and so I think that Leipzig also has a very good opportunity to do so against a Liverpool team that has not been extremely productive this year. So those are the picks and the bets that I have for you today. Just a quick reminder, make sure to smash the like button and to subscribe to Mayo Media Network, and don't forget to leave a 5-star review on the audio podcast. And then head on over to Twitter to follow me at Ethan Kershaw 9. Good luck with your picks this week and your DFS contest for the Champions League. I hope you all win some money this week. Thank you all for your time, and I will see you all later.